Hi, hope everyone. My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast. In today's episode, we talk about the brand new Lord of the Rings show, Rings of Power, spoiler free. I've seen it, what I think. Boo and Rob haven't, but we briefly discuss it. Destiny 2 is tight. Assassin's Creed leak, Hogwarts Legacy, 300 Bones, drama, Halo, just a big fat bruh. Some Pokemon stuff. We talk about Rob doing a charity league for St. Jude with some cool people like Markiplier. Rob's probably going to get flown out to do a field goal kicking competition. That sounds like fun. As well as other news. But before we get into it, we've got a review to read.
I got a review here from Mighty Pudge. It says 5 stars. GG Over Easy has improved my life. It says, hello all. I've been watching Mr. Fruit and the Dream Team since I was in middle school, and I just graduated high school.
Oh God, we're old.
My work days are long and boring. GG Easy gets me through the day. Their content is always fresh and always entertaining. Bringing personal insight to my childhood idols and showing the human element of them has been very interesting. For any news on gaming content or content in general, I watch GG Easy. All in all, GG Easy has helped me get through the daily, allows me to contribute to listening to my childhood idols, and informs me on current events. I think he nailed it right there.
Wait, that was actually a super wholesome, really nice review. Thank you.
Yeah. And Mighty Pudge, thank you for that. So make sure you guys leave your reviews, and maybe I'll read it next week in the intro.
The part he left out is where it's like it gave me insight into my childhood idols and completely ruined them.
Why are my childhood idols so depressed?
What are they doing? Hey, what you doing? What's the dog doing? Thank you very much, though, Mighty Pudge, for the review, and thank you everybody else for listening. Hope you guys enjoy this week's episode. Let's get into it. Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
The wait is almost over. A new football season is about to begin. Get ready for the NFL Week 1 action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To celebrate the return of football, DraftKings is giving new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. I've used DraftKings in the past, and it's safe, reliable, and the bets there and the lines there are the best you can get anywhere. Want more action for opening night? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Bet on any NFL team of your choice, and if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code OVEREASY to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code OVEREASY only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Check the description for more information. Smooth sack summer is slowly coming to an end, fellas. If you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack with those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for Fresh Ball Fall. The leader in below-the-belt grooming is here to make your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Start the new season the right way and join over the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off plus free worldwide shipping with code GG at manscaped.com. I never hurt my balls in below-the-waist grooming thanks to Manscaped. That worry is a thing of the past. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need with the sweet sack in check. Inside the package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all the goodies in it. So what are you waiting for? You can get 20% on all of that and free shipping with the code GG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code GG at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as they say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall. Now from a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. I think most of the people in today's generation get stuck in thinking about the problems instead of solutions. I used to be that way. I used to think about a lot of problems and rather not thinking about the solutions that can help me fix those problems. Thankfully, that's where BetterHelp came into my life. BetterHelp handed me the tools and helped me figure out what solutions I was looking for, like how to dealing with burnout and how to deal with being a content creator. With my time at BetterHelp, they were nothing but professional. They listened to me and tailored their sessions to me. I knew everything wasn't right in my head and figuring out what I needed to do to deal with my mental health. And BetterHelp taught me all the things I needed to do to help me with my mental health. And I know BetterHelp can do the same for you. If you're thinking about giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 148, I believe.
69.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about things. Because guess what? It's a podcast, baby. That's what we do. What?
This is our podcast, and we could talk about whatever. And sometimes, nothing at all.
Yeah. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we say things, but they don't really mean much. But today we've got lots of stuff-ish. I don't know. You know how it is.
Hear about it.
We write some things, and we see how it goes. What do we want to start with?
I want to start with your glasses.
I've been getting a lot of comments about people liking your new glasses.
Yeah, you're like early 2000s. You're like just making transparent everything.
Later.
Yeah, you look like the type of dude who like watches Linus Tech Tips and exclusively watches Linus Tech Tips.
That's a good thing.
What? That's a retro throwback. People are into that now.
You know how fashion is. It's in and then it's out, and 10, 15 years later it's back in, and then I figured, why not? I've never not just had like black frames.
Black frames.
Yeah. So I also got another pair, kind of more similar to what I ever had, but yeah. So thanks. I'm glad I got people like it. You know,
are they
metal
on the side, or is that?
Yeah, there's like a little metal frame inside of it right there, but that's about it.
I like them.
I quite enjoy them.
Thanks, guys.
And so do all the thirst comments on Twitter. I quite enjoy them, and so do all the freaks on Twitter.
It is weird putting it on because I can just see a little more. Because normally it's like just blocked out. It was kind of disorienting. I can see everything. But the most important thing is they just don't have scratches everywhere anymore. And aren't just smudged. So that's been a nice upgrade. And I took out the blue light filter I had on the other ones.
Didn't really help, or just like you felt like it was a placebo kind of thing, or
yeah. And I looked it up, and like it kind of seems mixed. Like I think it's supposed to help a little bit, but honestly, it just kind of annoyed me more than anything. So
I was in the same boat. I was like, so to blue light or not to blue light, and for a long time, I was like, yeah, I'll wear blue light filters and lens with blue light filter, and then like as I was like, I don't think I'm getting anything from these. And so it was like, I quickly realized the only actual thing that changed how I felt was just don't look at a screen like an hour before bed. Pretty much it.
I look at a screen all day. Do you guys ever get like on your iPhone, it'll show you like your screen usage?
It's like, don't show me that.
It's bad. Mine will be like, you're down 60% this week. I'm like, oh, sick. It's like 7 hours of screen time. It's like, what was I doing the day before?
I mean, I feel like this is I feel like that's like a boomer mental of like, why are you on your phone? And it's like, because this magic device connects me to the entire world immediately. Why would I not want to be on my phone? And they're like, no, you should just sit down and watch TV. And it's like, what's the difference? Or it's like, I do respect though, like going out and just being like with nature and shit. Like I get that, but but they're like, why are you always on your phone? As the boomers get home and watch TV all night.
Yeah. Well, what do you think you're doing? I will say my screen usage isn't great. Like it's skewed because I have this thing running like 24/7.
So what is your usage? Like 17 hours plus, probably?
So bad. Let's see. I mean, like this little phone's battery, dude, is like. It's like, dude, help me!
Please stop running AFK gotchas. I can only take so much more.
Where do I see that?
So go to
General?
settings
Yeah.
and then scroll down. You'll see screen time. It's kind of like right by do not disturb, sounds and haptics and
Oh, I see it.
notifications.
Daily average 10 hours.
I thought it was gonna be a lot
Come on.
higher with the
Well,
gotcha games.
to be fair, too, it probably would be higher, but that's also the problem is I have it running AFK, but at certain points it stops and you have to start it again.
Oh.
But I infamously have good old object permanence, so I'll even just forget that it's there, and I'll forget to start it again. So, frankly, I think my phone's happy for that. It's like, thank God.
My daily average this week at least is 5 hours and 51 minutes, up 50% from last week.
Oh, GZ.
Yeah.
Does it break down like what the apps are or whatever?
Yeah, I see all activity. Yeah, it does. So, YouTube is 8 hours, but I fell asleep watching YouTube videos, so that's a little misconstrued.
I'll allow it.
Twitter 5.5 hours, Discord 4.5 hours, Reddit 4.5 hours, texting 3 hours, Instagram 2 hours, and Safari for 1 hour.
What do you do on Discord mobile so much?
I don't know.
That's a great question.
It says on. Oh, that's why. So on Saturday or on Sunday when I had my fantasy football stream with Arios joined through Discord. So that's
sense.
why this saying this. I was like, oh, what do I do on Discord for 4.5
what?
hours?
I mean, I was like, that's interesting, but I don't know what you do on mobile.
No, mine is normally like Twitter.
How'd that go, by the way?
It was sick, dude. It was a lot of fun. Arios started World War VII though, which was
Why is that?
up to. So like we do an auction league, okay? So instead of just like drafting players like through like a normal kind of snake thing, you do an auction. So basically, you have a budget of $200, like fake money, and you have to allocate that and like fill a team with that money. So you can't go over budget. So Arios, I think at this point had like $18, and he had like 2 roster spots to fill. So the most he could spend on a player was 17, because you have to fill in the whole roster. So he spent 18 on his last player and had 1 roster spot full. And there's a rule that if you go over budget, you have to throw in your most expensive player back in the pool. But everyone felt bad because Arios wasn't at the draft and he wasn't able to see the board. So we had to make this whole loophole specifically just for Arios. He felt so bad. He was pissed at himself. Yeah, but dude, it was sick. Everybody, it all worked out.
Did everyone show up? If you know what I'm saying?
No. We had one person flake last second. Like, yeah, like it was cringe. Everybody was giving him shit the entire time. So
beta. Don't be a beta,
yeah.
dude.
It was very beta, and I'll be the first to say that to his face if I see him. Like that was extremely beta because it was weird. The day before, we were making fun of our other friend for making a beta decision,
Right.
and he was like letting that guy have it. And then the other guy the guy who didn't show up to the draft was roasting Arios the day before the draft for not showing up and was like, we should kick this guy out of the league for not showing up to the draft and stuff like that. And then the next day he doesn't show up for the draft.
Yeah, we should kick people who don't show up at it.
Yeah, that's what we kept saying.
That's lame.
Beta!
That's the whole thing, because like Rob came over Sunday with his friend Matt, who'd flown in from Arizona. Because yeah, people like Claire had been asking me about that, like fantasy football stuff. I'm like, when people come, like, why is it that big? I'm like, babe, like people fly cross country for these like draft days.
It's like the best. It's like seriously, like it's almost better than like the Super Bowl weekend. Like it is, like I live for it, dude. It's so much fun.
I wish I was into it like that, but when we did that one league, and we even talked about like I can't remember to just check. Like I just forget. That's my problem. Granted, with most things in life, is I forget.
So yeah, that was a ton of fun. You let me use your setup for a little bit, which was really cool.
Yeah, for the Saints,
in a fantasy league with Markiplier, which is pretty cool, and a lot of other creators.
Big moves.
Yeah, I mean, they asked me if I wanted to be in this league, and I was like, yeah, sure, like whatever. And they're like, okay, well, Markiplier's in it. And I was like,
What?
well, the crazy thing is like this like St. Jude Fantasy League is like run through CB. Like it's St. Jude trying to do like a prove it kind of concept to CBS. So like potentially
like
next
the
yeah,
network.
yeah, like CBS. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying to like have like it be like a concept for CBS that CBS will like sponsor this potentially like in the future and stuff like that. And they're saying next year they want to have us like in studio at like a CBS place and doing all kinds of stuff for them if we raise enough.
And
Which I mean,
they'll
shit, we have Markiplier, so I'm sure we'll raise enough.
and they'll bring you back for it. Is that what you
Yeah.
say? Oh, pot. Like I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, man, it would suck if that happens and
Yeah,
they bring
like,
you in for the
"Oh,
first like proof of concept. Like, hey, thanks. We're just gonna get some new guys. Like, if you don't,
XQC.
I mean,
No.
I'd imagine they probably, if it does, they could probably get more and bigger
Oh,
people.
they
But
and like I don't know if he's being compensated for it or not. I mean, I something came across like my thing on like Instagram and it was like Markiplier talking to I think like Logan Paul or something like that. And I think Markiplier said he makes like $38 million, like basically
Probably.
like a year.
I'd believe it.
Yeah, it was like insane.
He makes fat stacks.
And you know what was really cool about Markiplier? Actually, like a really cool, genuine dude that you could like. I didn't even like know him, but we were like immediately kind of bouncing back and forth. I was like, you see this, Mark?
That's what I've always heard, though. I've never really heard anything bad about the guy. He's always been
No,
genuine.
actually, really genuinely cool guy. Like
And
doesn't know anything about fantasy football, but it made for a hilarious thing.
He's one of the main factors. Mr. Fruit became a thing.
Oh,
Not that I started. When I started, it was Sea Nanners. But when I eventually
grew.
returned and changed my channel and stuff, yeah, Markiplier was the one that made me.
I never really watched any Markiplier videos.
He's good. I mean, like it's definitely changed throughout the years, and he does some different stuff. Like he doesn't do as
it
much.
seems like you do anything at this point.
Yeah, he
You know what I
used to do much more like it was back in the. I didn't watch this era really either. I never watched the Pewd era either of like the horror content.
games.
That's how I got big. It was like Amnesia back in the day.
Mhm.
Never really watched that. Ironically, I found him because I was playing. What the fudge was the name of the game? I ended up making a video on it. It's one of the. Let me look it up. It's one of the really early videos on my channel, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. But it was this like open world survival post-apocalyptic game or something. What was it? Nether.
Oh.
Yeah, it was this Nether game, and I looked it up, and he was like the first video I found on, and I watched him. And then this is like where I had got the idea from. It's like I found him because of Nether. And I was looking up just to see Nether stuff. And then I found myself
8 years ago.
Yeah. And then I found myself just watching his other stuff because I was like, wait, I like this guy. So that was my whole thing. It's like, well, I want draw people in maybe for a game, but then they're like, hey, this guy's cool. I want to watch the other stuff.
I mean, it worked.
Well, I'm back here uploading just Destiny. So did it?
Hey, a lot changes
Tell
over
me.
the course of 8 years. And you know what doesn't?
Markiplier.
Because I'm a content creator. But I am here on the GG Over Easy podcast.
That's
what were we talking
right. Well, like that's the thing too, though, is like the meta of YouTube and viewer habits has changed. Like back in the day, that was the meta.
I mean, especially though over the past 2-3 years, it's just such a big shift in how people do content and how people do. I hate this fucking era of just absolutely like. I don't know how to describe it, of like toddler titles of like huh, wow, what the or like in the Pokemon titles are like the most triggering to me. It's like, oh my god, is that Gardevoir? Wait, what the fuck?
I feel like the content that really does well on YouTube these days, it's like either like super like there's two spectrums. It's like either like really young children impressionable kind of content like Roblox or something like that, or a 5-hour deconstruction of Victorious of why.
Oh yeah, there's no in between.
Yeah, it's like either of those two. It's like
extremely professional, like like essay title,
Yeah.
the deconstruction of why our iCarly destroyed the Nickelodeon norms, and it's like 10 million views, or
I just pooped my pants.
Yeah.
I took a big shitted. This changed everything.
Yeah, Roblox poop mod, and it's like, whoa. So I feel like right now in YouTube's kind of world, or like at least in the meta, I feel like it's those two, and it's like, because
Well-
personally, what I've been watching is a lot of like video essays on shit that I would never normally ever watch. It.
Like, this is great. Well, I think the problem is I just don't know where I belong in that sea of things right now. Like I don't.
I don't blame. I
Like
mean,
I exist in a weird
is,
gray area, and I don't know.
Because it used to be like gaming content and makeup, like
That's it. Well, and the gaming content. I don't know. I should just be able to like edit the video just the way I wanted, and I wouldn't have to worry about like, oh, how's it set up? Oh, what's retention like? When are people clicking off? When it? And now it's all those things.
Do you think they give you too much stats on YouTube, or like not enough? You know what I mean?
Probably not enough. But they give you just enough to be like, hey, you're doing something wrong, but then not enough to be like, hey, here's how you fix it. You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like. So yeah,
Just help me.
I'm making up as I go these days. But yeah, I'm glad you were able to do that.
Yeah, it's cool, really like genuine guy. So
How you feeling about the team you drafted?
Oh, insane, dude. Like I feel like I was one of the few people in there that like truly knew about fantasy football. So like the team I drafted is absolutely just stacked.
Well, you were saying like Mark apparently knew nothing. He was just making stuff up.
Oh yeah, he didn't know. But like I think that was like kind of the whole point was like I think his first draft was Mark Andrews, who played well, he's a good player, but I mean you would never draft him first, and his whole reasoning was his name is Mark. And my name is Mark.
So I do remember just hearing something. You were like, I think you were leaving her. Like, yeah, I got to grab the Detroit defense just in case something. Mark's like, oh, yeah, Detroit's defense, they're great. Probably the best.
Pretty much.
Probably.
Well, and that was the other thing is I think it was like the third round. You can draft defenses in fantasy football. So basically you draft the whole defense, and if they get an interception, you get a point. If they get like a pick six or like a fumble recovery or a sack, you get a point. But you don't get like a ton of points. So it got to like Mark's pick in the third round, and he goes like, why does it just say like Bills? And they're like, oh, that's like for defenses and stuff. He's like, you tell me, like I can own a whole franchise. And we're like, yeah, sure. Like you own the Bills. And he goes, well, my IPO just went up $6 billion. Like,
you know, kidding. Like, wow, this is a steal.
So, really awesome. It's an 8-man league, so like your team can't possibly be bad.
Just because
but I mean, I can see how much we've already raised. St. Jude, or it's on Tiltify, I think. But I think we raised like on the first day, I think over like $25,000 for the draft, which is really cool.
That's big.
So yeah, really enjoying the good old fantasy football and raising money for St. Jude. It's like a double win.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
You get the
best.
Yep, there we are. Hello, one brain.
Guys, we've been brainwashed.
Yeah,
Help
we
me.
raised.
Yeah.
So we raised $25,673, which is really cool.
That's actually pretty good, pretty fucking sick, TBH, lad.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And
then-
for
Like-
something I genuinely, this is like one of those things where I'm just like, I don't understand it, but I'm really happy that you're popping off.
Well,
Yeah, this
because
feels like
man,
my
do I not
parents. Like, I
understand
don't
it.
understand what you're doing, but you're making money. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Way to go,
It's like,
son.
Can't be mad at that.
if we get to 30,000, which is 5,000 away, we do an IRL field goal contest. We'll all like be flown like to some stadium.
What?
they
How
said.
much? How much money?
30,000. So we're
Oh,
5,000
well
away.
then. Oh, that's gonna
Yeah.
be sick.
Yeah. So that's kind of the whole thing. Is like
You gotta
they're
start
trying
warming
to-
up. Get
They're
that,
trying to.
get that
Well,
leg
I
ready.
told everybody, hey, I kicked in high school, so y'all fucked. So, CBS is gonna be like sponsoring this everything, and so, and apparently they're already all about it. I guess they were watching like the the streams and whatnot, and they're like, this is awesome. So who knows if they'll get other like ginormous creators in it or something like that to kind of spew interest in it next year.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't. I don't know, maybe next time. One thing they could do is like get
like
probably
an NFL player or something.
well that, but also like if they're gonna do content creators, I'm surprised they didn't pull more from like Madden creators or something. You know.
That's what I kind of thought. I think like one of them is a Madden creator, because he seemed like the other guy that like knew what he was kind of doing. But I think it's more so like other people that have helped with like St. Jude in the past, like, because like when they introduced me, they were like, and Rob, who's done Dream Team for GCX streams, and they've raised like a cumulative of,
I feel like
350,000.
I feel like to definitely do a proof of concept, you want to have like safe picks of people who you know have done this stuff. And I mean, who better than Rob?
That's right.
I mean, I gotta
Rob's
thank you
our boy.
boys, because I wouldn't been chosen if we hadn't done the Dream Team St. Jude streams. So it all worked out. So yeah, it's going really fun. But I'm gonna interrupt this story. How is that soda, Mr. Fruit?
Oh,
it's not a soda. It's
into it.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can either.
Oh,
It's the brand new advanced can, which is not available yet as of the time you're hearing this. But should be soon. Again, I don't really know how much. I think they said I'm able to just drink it on camera, so I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, they sent me 6 boxes. Turns out 240 cans. So I'm gonna be wired for the next couple months, frankly. And it's sick. There's gonna be, again, I guess I don't have much I can say. There's gonna be 3 different flavors to boot. And
I know they tweeted.
Yeah, cherry limeade. It's the first one, and it has this cool like special edition art.
Oh, so okay, so the art isn't always staying.
No, it even says collector's can. Hey, I know you guys are excited, but like chill. No.
They need to drink the chilled.
Got it. Come. Sit. Quiet. Good girl.
Nice.
Okay. Quiet. Appa. Quit egging her on.
Quit egging her on.
Problem. Good girl.
What is he doing to egg her on?
That's just it. She's calming down, but then he like looks at her and then starts barking, like trying to be like, "Hey, why we stop barking? Let's keep barking."
Like,
and she's like, "All right,
keep barking. He's podcasting.
Good girl."
This is when we bark.
Yeah, as long as I give her something to do, she calms down. Yes, you do. But yeah, on the side it says collector's can 2 of 3. So
okay. 2 of 3.
Well, that because there's the 3 flavors.
Oh,
yeah.
So what are the 3 flavors? Well, if you can share.
Well, that's the fun part. I don't actually know either. Because
so it's just a can.
When they sent me 240 cans, it's only my flavor. So we got cherry limeade for days, baby. But yeah, I'm not sure what the other 2 flavors are. I'm trying to think. I think they like told me once in a call, but they never wrote it down somewhere. So of course I'd forgotten. But I'm excited. This is like one thing since I've been with them. I feel like I manifested this, frankly. I've been bugging them for, at this point, probably over 2.5 years. Of just like, bruh, cans win. Cans? They're like, we don't know if we can make it happen. And it was probably a lot. But hey, next stop.
They'll thank you for it.
Getting in stores, getting in retail. Again, I don't know how that's probably really they're like, shut up, like stop talking. I don't know how hard that is, but that's my next campaign. We'll get there. But it's delicious.
Well, I'm excited to try it whenever I find myself back down there, because ain't no way by the time I come down there next you've drank it all.
Bet. Well, I think Claire's getting in on it too, so you're gonna have to ask her to chill. Can't help it.
I'm excited to try it.
Yeah,
maybe might be a good alternative from soda.
I'm good to see, or I'll be excited to see what everyone else thinks about it. What the good people of the wide internet once they get their hands on it.
You guys know what else I'm excited to see? Because I haven't seen it yet. Sydney watched like the first episode.
Oh, I was gonna say I saw a tweet. You didn't watch it with her?
No, I was playing CS and and I was like, babe, I'll just hop out. like she started, and we were like just hit halftime, and it was like 11-4, and we were losing. And I was like, "Oh, hey, babe, like I'll come. You can start it, and then I'll just hop in." Little did I know that game went into triple overtime.
So just another CS game.
Yeah. So the game went from like being this might be 45 minutes to about 2 hours. And guess what? We lost. So that was great. But I played so good, so I didn't give a shit.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, like if like I think I dropped like 30. Like I was owning. Yeah, I was playing pretty well.
Go on, son.
But I went like 30 and 36. Like don't get it twisted. I still died like almost practically every round. But I'm entry. You know, I like to entry.
Somebody's got to. You know.
I don't bait. I'm not a baiter. But I didn't
realize
watch
there was
it.
any other way to play the game, frankly. But.
I watched a little bit of episode 2, because she started it around 11 when I got done.
Spoilers.
And it looks interesting. I don't think it looks as fun as House of Dragons, but it looks all right. But I'm sure I didn't watch it, so I can't have a full opinion.
You also did, come in this episode.
Episode 2, yeah. But I did watch like the recap and stuff.
See, I could never. That would like ruin it for me. I'd be like, nope. Like I gotta watch the first episode. I don't want to see nothing. Even when like we're watching Bachelorette, I don't even care that much about Bachelorette. I just want to watch it because I get to watch it with Claire and stuff. But at the start of a thing, they'll be like, "Here's a preview," or at the end of an episode, they're like, "Here's a preview." Next episode, I'm like, "Skip it. Nope. Mute it. I don't want to see it. I want to hear it."
Wow, really?
It doesn't matter what it is. Yeah,
Interesting.
I've talked about it, but I still don't think people just quite realize how like. They're like the 7 deadly sins, and as far as I'm concerned, they're all spoilers. The Bible says 7 deadly sins is spoilers. It's spoilers. And so, yeah,
I get that though.
I don't know. It's just like it genuinely like if I know it's gonna happen, my brain just is like we lost interest, attention, everything. I can't help it. So. Yeah, so I saw Rings of Power though, the 2 episodes. And I'm about it. It was sick. And I also like it because just like that, like I'm getting 2 different things right now from House of Dragons and Lord of the Rings. Like obviously currently probably for the most part, like Rings of Power is noticeably lacking the political drama.
Mm-hmm.
And
but that's never been like Lord of the Rings' like thing.
Well, exactly, and I think like that's why like Claire enjoys it. For instance, like she doesn't like political drama stuff, and like she enjoys more being like completely disconnected from reality, and when she watches shows, and so when a lot of it mirrors real life, or like that's why she also hates like the moral ambiguity of characters in House of Dragons, because like, well, and just Game of Thrones, it's like there's no one just to root for, whereas in like Lord of the Rings, it's much clearer. Here's good guy, here's bad guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like in normal Lord of the Rings, it's like, well, you have the Fellowship, and then you have Sauron.
Orcs, yeah.
Right, like you have good versus bad. And so we're getting more of that. There was a moment we see some more sick stuff. There was like a minute scene in the first episode of a giant battle, some dragons and stuff. I was like, oh, I don't know if we're gonna get like, I doubt we're gonna get like Helm's Deep in this show, but man, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Well, around, yeah, I loved what I saw. Gorgeous, insane. Like I can see where most of the money was probably spent on CGI and visual effects. And
did you watch both episodes?
I did, yeah. And
they showed like one place called L something, EL, but there was like a big waterfall or something like that. It was just like
it was
escape of a
elven
like an elf place.
It was foraging or whatever.
It was sick. Like it looked really sick.
Did you see when they went into the dwarvish mountain?
I don't think so.
It was like, oh, it was just
because
beautiful.
Sydney stopped about 20 minutes in and was like, I'm tired, and I was like, all right, like I'm Like,
I think that was, yeah, I guess you would have seen it right after, a little bit after if you'd seen that place. But yeah, I'm about it. I am about it. And
I'm
that's the nice
excited to
thing is
watch it.
just like that, like maybe I wanted political drama. No, I'm not getting it from Lord of the Rings. Doesn't matter because Sunday I'll get it from House of Dragons. So I enjoyed it. I haven't looked up reviews though, or like what people think. And I think I'm going to be careful about it, kind of how I'm careful about House of Dragons right now, because apparently it is based off of a book or series of books or stories. It starts with an S. That apparently Tolkien's son finished for him. He like left it to his son to finish after he died. I think he published it like 1977. Let me look at it. I just remember the name of it. But so it's based off a lot of the canon we're going to see there. So again, I don't want to look and they'll be like, oh, that was really cool. I can't wait to see so and so do this. I'm like, ah. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a House of Dragon spoilers, but there's a clip from like season 2 or something like that,
I don't want to hear it.
and it's
I don't
Joffrey. I'm not gonna explain it, but it's Joffrey like explaining like
Yeah, that's
basically
what somebody pointed out. Yeah, it was like they like essentially explained how all the Targaryens died or whatever.
pretty much.
Which I remember hearing that, and here's the thing: I don't remember from that episode, and so
Well,
it's
'cause
technically
it's a very just one of those dialogues.
like
in Game
throwaway
of
kind of
Thrones.
things you don't really.
Yeah.
And so somebody's like, "But we already know," and I'm like, "I don't care. I forgot about it. So as far as I'm concerned, fiction never happened."
I watched it. I'm gonna take it as, throughout history, especially in Game of Thrones, things get twisted. And Joffrey was a Baratheon, so maybe he was just full of shit and was reading like Baratheon history books instead of like true history books type of things. So that's how I'll believe it.
Well, and that's the thing that was like, I mean, technically too, like we know how, for the most part, even like if we don't know specifically what, like we know big picture what's essentially going to happen, more or less. I mean, it also depends on how far they go, but also it's like this is one of those things. Is like, yeah, we might know the end, but for me, it's more about the journey here, and actually getting to see into it. Trying to figure out the freaking.
I saw like this thing and it was basically like Amazon came out and said like, yeah, our streaming service is all of its eggs are in the Lord of the Rings basket, and if it doesn't pay off, we'll see what happens.
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
The wait is almost over. A new football season is about to begin. Get ready for the NFL Week 1 action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To celebrate the return of football, DraftKings is giving new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. I've used DraftKings in the past, and it's safe, reliable, and the bets there and the lines there are the best you can get anywhere. Want more action for opening night? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. Bet on any NFL team of your choice, and if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code OVEREASY to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code OVEREASY only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Check the description for more information. Smooth sack summer is slowly coming to an end, fellas. If you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack with those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for fresh ball fall. The leader in below the belt grooming is here to make your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Start the new season the right way and join over the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off plus free worldwide shipping with code GG at manscaped.com. I never hurt my balls in below the waist grooming thanks to Manscaped. That worry is a thing of the past. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need with the sweet sack in check. Inside the package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all the goodies in it. So what are you waiting for? You can get 20% on all of that and free shipping with the code GG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code GG at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as they say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall. Now from a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. I think most of the people in today's generation get stuck in thinking about the problems instead of solutions. I used to be that way. I used to think about a lot of problems and rather not thinking about the solutions that can help me fix those problems. Thankfully, that's where BetterHelp came into my life. BetterHelp handed me the tools and helped me figure out what solutions I was looking for, like how to dealing with burnout and how to deal with being a content creator. With my time at BetterHelp, they were nothing but professional. They listened to me and tailored their sessions to me. I knew everything wasn't right in my head and figuring out what I needed to do to deal with my mental health. And BetterHelp taught me all the things I needed to do to help me with my mental health. And I know BetterHelp can do the same for you. If you're thinking about giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/GG today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/GG.
Like, I will say, I was watching it, especially like first episode, and genuinely, like, I don't even know if I quite felt the same scale watching House of Dragon or Game of Thrones ever. Like, it genuinely felt like this is a movie. Like, it's a knowing how much money they spent. I guess it's a good thing that I can tell that they spent a lot of money, because it actually like comes through. It wasn't a case of like they spent how much on this, because visually I have to say it is stunning. They I don't know, whether you could pause it at any point during each of those episodes and it was like a painting. It was pretty insane.
It wasn't like they spent how much on this. It was more like, yeah, they spent that much on this.
Yeah, it was before, like, even on the podcast, like I think you had mentioned or someone had told me the figure and I was like, wait, what? And now it's
How do you even do that?
And now it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And in like a good way, like I'm glad. Cause it's sick.
So Blue, I'm not gonna ask you about either of these shows. Have you watched She-Hulk? I know you're a Marvel stan, and have you watched it at all?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm a big Marvel stan, so I pretty much watch anything they put out. It's all right. You know, it hasn't really like grabbed me. I think it's pretty run of the mill Marvel TV show right now, which for me, a run of the mill Marvel TV show is like,
Like,
it's a good
not bad,
distraction.
not good.
Not bad, not good. It's just all right.
Like, after you watched Mrs. Marvel, like how?
So Mrs. Marvel is definitely the exception, right? Because like,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Mrs.
Like,
Marvel,
did it set too high of a bar for you maybe afterwards? Or?
I think it was less setting high of a bar. It was more so like, I know what to expect of an average Marvel show. And so when I watched Miss Marvel, I was like, oh shit, I'm James Price. Like, this is actually really good. And then I went back to She-Hulk and I was like, yeah, this is about what I remember.
That's fair.
So
which
it was fine. It's been fine so far. There's been some lighthearted moments. There's been some moments that I was like, I get what you're going for, but you could have written that a little better.
See like a picture of like Meg the Stallion twerking with She-Hulk.
And I didn't mind that because it was a post-credit thing. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, it's an all right show. It's nothing incredible so far. Haha. But it's a fun little adventure.
I haven't seen it. The only thing I've heard, and I guess you could tell me if they were kind of on the point, that it feels like a Marvel sitcom. Is that accurate or not?
I would say very much so. I would say it's sitcom in. It's sitcom in the sense like I could see this show on a major network.
Okay.
I think this show more than all the others. I could see this show on like CBS, NBC, ABC. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I mean, we've talked about it. I kind of am. I'm just in the midst of Marvel fatigue. Like, It used to
That's
be if there's
totally fair.
something to like consume Marvel wise, like, oh, I got to do it. But now I'm like 3 shows behind, and I'm like, I'll get to them. I'm like, I still haven't. To be fair, I have wanted to see this one more. I don't know, I haven't. Like, I still haven't seen What If. I've seen like the first episode of Mrs. Marvel. I haven't seen She-Hulk. Where do I know is if there's something else these days? It feels like they're a dime a dozen.
Is there another show after She-Hulk that's coming out?
I mean,
I think
yes. I don't know if we know
What it is
exactly.
specifically?
I think was it going to be Ironheart or something? I don't know. I kind of.
I'll
Have
blindly.
you watched I Am Groot? I feel like that's a baby show.
Oh,
Have
that
you
one
watched
came.
it?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is
I
like,
feel like it's for babies though.
well, I don't know if that's the case, but I know it's like, it's whatchamacallit, like, no dialogue. I believe it's like all silent, like small animations. I think it's like it's a much different show. It's more like just a mini series anthology kind of thing. But even with that, yeah, it's not like like, man, gotta watch that. Will I? Probably soon.
I just want Loki season 2.
Oh my god, you and me both, homie.
But
It's a summer 2023, so a little bit of a wait, but that's all right.
But TLD art, it's all right. You know,
That's
I don't
that's
expect a
more than I
lot
was
from Marvel
expecting.
shows now. I don't expect much from Marvel shows at this point, so I don't know. They've really like settled into their formula, which is bad, but at the same time,
print money.
also gives me like some great background TV material 99% of the time. Because Marvel shows are literally the shows I'll just like kind of like if I'm just doing something
Throw it up.
or if I'm doing nothing, I'll just throw on She-Hulk.
It's just funny because like there was a point where I'm like, dude, Marvel could pump these out. I'll never get old of them. And to be fair, I kind of felt that
And-
way until these TV shows. And-
the TV shows have definitely caused a lot of fatigue for me too.
And I think part of it too is like, just because it's longer form, which can be good, but at the same time, like, for instance, as we saw with Doctor Strange, if I hadn't bothered to watch WandaVision, I would have been like, what the fudge? So the fact that I don't know if it's like, if I want to continue enjoying the movies, or like what's mandatory to watch and what's not.
I don't think it's
Almost.
I don't think it's been quite as
But that just fatigues
quite that bad
me.
yet. I don't think it's been quite that bad yet. I think it can get to that point, right? But I think WandaVision was definitely the most essential
to
watch, which is why they put it first. But for the most part, it's kind of been these are mostly self-contained stories to introduce new characters, so not that bad. But
well, and I think part of that just knowing that, even though like it hasn't really been a thing, like that just changes the way I think about it. And then on top of that, I just don't watch as much shows. Like it's easier for me to be like, okay, sit down and commit to a 2-hour movie than over the course of X amount of time commit to a 10-hour series. So that's why for me, I've just been more fatigued. And like when they were only doing movies, yeah, they might have been pumping them out, but that's like, I'd go see one once every 4 months or something. And so I think that's why I think if they'd stuck to movies, I probably would have felt the same way. But yeah, as someone who does enjoy the Marvel Universe, I just don't know where I stand on the shows yet. Like Loki
I do definitely miss,
but I don't know.
I do definitely miss the every couple of months we get a Marvel movie, and it felt like a good pace. But now it's definitely like here's another Marvel show,
and I don't want to say it like cheapens it, but like it just.
It does.
The
As a
impact
dude who's
of each
still
new
a full
title.
Marvel fan.
Yeah. It just doesn't quite
I
hit
haven't
the
even
same.
seen Thor.
You don't need to.
Yeah, ironically enough. I don't know
still
where
like
it'll.
the movie, but you don't need to.
Yeah, I don't actually know if it'll have. I'm trying to think like what impact it could actually have on like the cinematic universe. I don't think anything huge.
I think that
See, and I guess I went to that that movie coming out going like, this is gonna set up everything, and apparently not.
Yeah, it was more like, hey, it'd be funny if we just fucking didn't do shit for a whole movie.
Wait,
And
We
that
show Chris's ass.
bro,
it was a great ass.
Bro is
It
looking
was
good.
a great
let me tell
ass. Yeah, that dude, like, you can't talk shit. That dude shits out that ass.
you. True.
You could tell.
I'd eat
That
out
man
of it,
can.
no doubt.
That dude could shoot a burrito out his ass, and I'd be like, "Thank you,
Thank you. Can I get that to go?
thank you, sir."
To go.
Tell me your glute routine.
Well, first off, I inject about 7 different syringes.
Yeah, first off, I have some.
I got a nice little
I
concoction.
have a very expensive help that you'll never be able to afford, and
So, no big deal. And I think like going for something that like was a lot of fun and didn't have a lot of stakes could have worked, but I think for me it didn't. I still liked the movie, but I think I kind of mentioned before, like it just didn't quite hit as much as I wanted, because I think part of that problem of it not doing anything just kind of is old right now, because it's felt like the past couple years have just felt like that across all Marvel media. So instead of like, oh, this is a nice break, it's like, so what are we doing? That's kind of what it feels like to me. But I don't know.
no, I think that's totally fair. I think that's a totally fair assessment.
And with all that said, like I'm still gonna go and watch every single movie. So
Yeah.
Because the movie's fuck and it's eye porn. And you know what I do love is some good VFX, baby.
well, and that's
But
the
you know what I
thing
don't
is,
like is how Marvel treats their VFX studios. But that's a topic for another day.
I feel like a lot of VFX studios these days. I feel like it's up there with a lot of like game developers and crunch and stuff. Like their work is so valuable and in demand, but they're just not treated like they're just overworked and either underpaid or undervalued. Even though like think about a Marvel movie, if we went to see one, like if we went to go see Thor and the VFX were even just not top notch, we would have been like, suddenly it's cheesy.
Fuck is this?
Suddenly it's corny.
Yep.
But anyway, that's part of it too. Though, it's like, yeah, Thor wasn't great, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, too, like, I'm just going to a superhero movie for the most part to just mindless fun. And then if I get other stuff out of it, cool. But like, I'll always just most of the time, if it's not like Thor: Dark World, I'll come out of it and be like, hey, that was cool. All right. I'm like their target audience. I'll be honest. I don't want to.
Same. They got me in their chokehold, and it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend that I don't know what I'm doing.
People are like, brainless idiots. I'm like, yep, I'm one of them. Thank you.
Pretty much some good brainless fun, baby, and I'm gonna keep enjoying it.
Yeah. I feel called out, and I'm all right with it. Speaking of feeling called out, Ubisoft got called out, or essentially felt like they were.
Again?
Well, because apparently there were some leaks about Assassin's Creed.
Oh.
And so they're like, oh, shoot.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, so they're like, surprise announcement, which is not how they planned it, because it's
Not
just
at
a
all.
Twitter post with a picture. They're like, Assassin's Creed Mirage. We'll tell you about it soon. AKA Fudge. Do we have some kind of promotional material? All right, just post it. And so yeah, I don't actually know. Looking at it, I don't know if it's ancient Egypt or some kind of. I don't really know what it is, but I will say the one image, it does look like they're returning back to more of the assassin vibe. Because like I loved Valhalla, but you could have named that anything. Like the last thing I would have thought of is like Assassin's Creed. Because it like none of that really came across. I was just like, ooh, Vikings, haha. But this looks like it might be a little more return to like Assassin's Creed of old. Yeah, like the first trilogy, so to speak. And I'll be excited to see it. I'm not huge on Assassin's Creed. Like, It's not that I don't
used to
like it.
be.
I was just I never really played it, got into it. So I hope people are like surprised and enjoy it. But for me, it's like, okay.
I'm with you.
So we'll see though, because man, Ubisoft has been missing for quite a while. In fact, they can't hit.
I was like, I don't know the last time they actually hit.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone's thinking. So will this be it? Find out. Probably not. They have a lot of repairing to do. Goodwill. Also, people were apparently calling out the new Hogwarts Legacy game and its DLC, or not DLC, additions.
What kind of game is it? Is it an MMO, single player?
It's single player.
It's a single player game?
Mm-hmm. It's coming out on like all platforms. It got delayed to February, I think 23rd. It's based in, I'm trying to think, like the 1700s. So like a good bit before Harry Potter. You create and you play as your own student in Hogwarts. And then they've shown some stuff. I don't know too much, but like you'll go through and there's things to do and kind of like a sim, I think. And you go to classes and there's mini games and there's a story and you have to, it's like the whole bit. And I think if you're just like a Harry Potter fan at all, it'll probably just be like just so cool just for the fact that like you get to exist in that world and play as your own and go around Hogwarts. The only thing I've seen, I like Harry Potter, but like, well, I enjoy the game because the gameplay looks kind of stiff. From the little bit they've shown, it's just kind of staying like they could have done a little more. They like maybe went a little too accurate to like the combat of the movies, which is stand still and just bzz, bzz, where I think they could have gotten maybe a little more dynamic with it. But I'm gonna get it anyway and play it. It looks cool. But there's like a $300 collector's edition. It's kind of nuts.
Well, what sucks about this collector's edition, it's not anything like uniquely tied to Harry Potter at all. It's like, I think it's like a book, and then like you put a wand on the book,
and it like floats,
and it floats. So
magnets.
A lot of Harry Potter fans were pissed, but I'm just reading here too. Hogwarts Legacy Collector Edition sold out almost instantly.
Yep, that's about right. Everyone's like, "What? This is egregious. I'll never pay it," and it's sold out. And here's the thing: for those people saying it, they didn't do it for you. You weren't the target audience, clearly. That's just like, well, we'll get to it. Like Halo microtransactions, for instance. Let's just go ahead and let's just segue into it.
Halo.
Yeah, let's just segue into it.
Let's talk about games getting
my boy.
Let's talk about games getting heat. How far Infinite has fallen from when it started. Guys, wow, this gameplay is actually really good. I can't wait to see where it goes a year later. So has this game changed at all?
That's it. Yeah. I
looked at, would you guys like to guess? I'll look at it now, but I looked at it yesterday. Would you guys like to guess where Halo Infinite is on Steam charts?
Position or players?
Just players.
2000.
So 3 minutes ago, it is in the morning right now. I'll do peak 24 hours. Peak 24 hours was 5,500.
For free to play Halo game on Steam. Yeah. Imagine telling me in 2007 we would have a free to play Halo on PC. There's 5,000 people playing.
And it'll be dead. Like,
now we don't have Xbox numbers, but even then there's like a top 10 list, I think, and like Halo Infinite, I think sometimes doesn't even hit it, which is kind of insane. Mainly just depressing. But not only did they kind of drop the ball, it's, again, the drama is recent news, is in recent, I think, yesterday as they were recording this, came out that they announced they just halted and have completely scrapped co-op and local split screen, which was a feature since Halo 5. They said, because they didn't include it, got a bunch of backlash, that they said we'll always include in every Halo moving forward. And then also at the beginning of Infinite, before Infinite promised it'll be an Infinite. Well, it's no longer an Infinite. Then the thing too is like, it should have, not only is it not in, it was delayed and then canceled after it should have even released. Oh, and by the way, the new season is extended another, I think, 3 months. So it's a 9-month season. The season got delayed until like March. And oh, by the way, Forge is delayed again. The actual co-op beta, I think, is delayed again. And meanwhile, you still have no real updates to the game.
Oh, and to top it all off, they just totally canceled splits rate in co-op.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They're just like, oops, we've decided to move the rest of the team to live service, which like this game, it's not a live service game. Like
it's not. We've moved the rest of the team to live service game. Okay, so where has that team been?
Yeah,
because
is that the only? So you didn't have a team, now you made one, because that's what it feels like. Like they don't understand. It's rough, and like
it sucks because they understand how to make the core game feel fun, but all of the other things that keep you playing, they have zero concept of how that works.
No clue. And again, like, how do you drop the ball like this? Like,
and what sucks too is I see a lot of cool stuff, like people who have like Forge early, I guess. And someone's like, they made Toy Story, Andy's room. They made Andy's room in the new Halo Infinite Forge, and it's like that looks super sick. Like, see if I can find it. Andy's room Halo. Toy Story Halo. And it looks really awesome. Like, it's just like, give me that though. Like, here, I'll put it in the subscriber chat. That way, like, people can see it. It looks really good. And I wish it was like, like, it can have these things that I think people forget that, like, sure, like, for, like, when they made Halo, it was like a competitive shooter and stuff like that. But I don't think they realized the reason why Halo had such a big community and such big growth is because it had those custom game features that you could do and stuff. And it doesn't have any of that at the moment.
well, and
I think what a lot of devs forget, Overwatch being a peak example, is games don't become competitive because they're competitive. Games become competitive because they're fun. Smash Bros, never competitive. If you look at like Halo 2 and 3 and all those Halos, Bungie didn't even support competitive until down the road. Like, it was supposed to be a fun party shooter.
Well, yeah, like the Halo 2 multiplayer was like thrown together.
Yeah, it just became competitive. The game has to, at its core, be fun for everyone before you can have people who push it to a more competitive aspect. So, like, Overwatch, great example. If you make the whole game based around only one audience, like, the game's eventually gonna...
Well, and the flub that I think they're doing is when Forge does eventually come, it's going to be months before custom game browser, though. Like, why would you not at least try and line those up? Because that's going to make a big difference.
Huge difference.
And again, we're talking all of this. This is the same thing we talked about like 7 months ago. Nothing has changed, and none of the stuff they said would happen has happened. Like, that's the whole point. It's like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, like, I'm genuinely baffled. Like, I don't understand. And straight up lying to consumers. This wasn't even like no, they said this would happen. They promised. They said. And then it's like the classic, like, my favorite thing is like just like the Reddit comment where it's like bingo card or whatever, and it's like, we're sorry to say what ended up happening, we regret to, and it's just like every single thing you just see over and over and over. We'll get better. It's just like, oh my god. And yeah, like at this point, it's not. It's just sad. And I don't know how they're letting this happen. Like, how is Microsoft not like, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how are they
What
okay with
are
this?
y'all doing over there?
Yeah, like,
The biggest game from last year for Microsoft, for when it comes to their first party stuff, and it's just dead in the water a couple months after it. Like 343. Plus, it's like, how many times is 343 fucked up?
well, that's the thing too. Is like, they were literally made to make Halo games over, well, about it like a decade now, maybe a little more. And they've yet to really prove it. The one game that like pretty unanimous when people are like, this is great, is a game they made so that people could play other games they didn't make, like a Halo Master Chief Collection.
And they fucked that up too.
Yeah, at launch. Oh my god. Yeah, don't even. They eventually got there, but it's just like like they have one sole purpose, and
they have not done it correctly yet.
yeah, and it's like, how are you still dropping this ball? Like, it just makes me sad and genuinely confused, because like there is clearly some management issues going on, like catastrophic, but at the same time, no one appears to be doing anything. And I had like, I don't know if I ever mentioned it, I think I did, but like before Infinite came out, in fact, I think I like had dinner with the guy when I first went to go see Apex Legends, when they first revealed it. And there was a guy who just recently quit 343 and was like, bro, Infinite's rough. And this was like, when was Apex shown? Early 2019 or something?
God, yeah, 2019.
And so this was still technically like a year and a half before release was supposed to happen, or whatever. And he's like, Infinite is like hot garbage. And I was like, what? But like, it's not like, and I was so excited. And he's like, management terrible, old guard, things won't change. Like, they're still trying to figure things out. Like, there's no clear direction. Blah 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 blah. That was like a year and a half out. And then it sounds like everything he told me then apparently hasn't changed. And it's still just an absolute mess. And so I don't know who's fumbling that ball. I don't know. There's a lot of people. A lot of people got to be doing it. But and then like, you're just spitting in the face of all your fans too. Like all 100%. The people who are sitting there who's been still defending you guys. I don't know why, but like they're like, no, trust. It's like, even they're like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like, but hey, we got a new $20 armor skin in the store.
Get the fuck out of here. Let me see.
It's just so sad.
Yeah, the Halo Infinite directory has 3K viewers in it right now, which is okay.
I mean, to be fair, I've always talked about this. Halo's never had the same foothold in online like content creation stuff. It never really has.
It came before like Halo. Like Halo 3 would have for sure, I feel like, been top of the directory constantly back in the day.
That Modern Warfare 2. Which
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 kind of was, but also it was different back then. It was either just like, here's new gameplays, or here's the classic COD commentaries. Halo just never had the same thing. I do think BetterHelp might have changed that, because right now what's hot, like, because that's the thing too, is if you go to the Call of Duty directory, no one's playing Call of Duty. No one's playing Warzone. Because at least, like, especially same thing with live streams, there was never the same interest in COD regular PvP than there has been like Warzone. Battle Royale.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be Warzone, and what's the new call? Vanguard.
Yeah.
So Vanguard. Yeah, so Warzone has 42 point something thousand viewers, and Vanguard has 1.7K.
So, sign of the times, which is unfortunate too, because like that's also a sign of the times for your boy over here. Because what was my content always like, the arena
Commentary
PvP
over like,
and then now it's more battle royale. Oh, which I like, but also I just can't make the same content the same way. So, but anyway, yeah, man, Halo. What the fudge? What are we doing?
Anything else you want to touch on before we move on to questions?
It's up to you, I guess. I don't really got much.
Oh, Destiny's fucking sweet again. We like Destiny. I'm actually playing it and I'm having fun.
Okay, well,
And by
It's
fun,
alright.
Blue, I mean there's a loadout that's going to be coming in Delightfall, and I want to have that prepared and ready.
What loadout would
And
that
I
be?
think if I'm prepared, it'll make Dream Team videos come Lightfall a little bit more entertaining. So I'm thinking for the whole gander here.
It's a season.
I think it's been tight for a while now. I've been back in the trenches.
I'll just start with questions here. Milo version 3 says, when Fruit sings, I'll follow you into the light as he plays games. Is he having a greatest showman moment and miss singing, I'll follow you into the dark? Or is it a reference to a different song?
It's a classic church song. Yep. It's ingrained at like people like I sung Stevis Curtis Chapman during the candy or was it candy or soda challenge, and people are like, what in the core memory just got unlocked? Yeah, I have all these bizarre Christian songs from my upbringing that are they're just back there, and they just come out at the most random times. And yeah, there's some song that's like, I'll follow you into the light, and it's talking about following Jesus into heaven. It's
Rapture.
Sunday song.
I know that. Bud says, hey, all, hope you're doing well. I have sort of a personal question, but what wouldn't be one thing you guys wish you could change about yourself, whether that be a physical change or mental change? For instance, I wish I could get rid of my want to procrastinate everything. I've always procrastinated about every school assignment, but that I did not want to do. If I could change anything about me, I don't know, man. I kind of like me, thankfully.
I'm kind of sick. Kind of vibe.
I guess my laziness to want to learn, like books. Like I wish I like to read maybe, and enjoyed reading more, or just like learning about shit I didn't care about in school. Maybe just like knowing how to get through school, I guess.
Well, I honestly
That's the
think
only
for reading, and I think it's because for just about everybody, genuinely, it's just because you haven't found a book that interests you yet. Because I genuinely think if you found one where you really like it, I think it'd be different. Because I've had books like that. Because I'm the same way. It's like there's some people who just read books to read books, but there are a lot of people who don't typically read. Especially too, the problem is all they've ever really read was school stuff, and they're like, "This sucks," and then it has this negative thing about it, and then they're like, "Okay, well, I hate reading." You just hate reading stuff you don't like, which is totally fair. But like, I felt the same way too. But then there's been books where like I'm interested, and then suddenly I can't put it down. I'm like, "This is sweet."
Real quick, would you guys like to guess what the #1 game on Steam is right now?
CS:GO or Dota.
That's right, baby.
I'm shocked.
I mean, it's usually CS:GO or Dota.
It's normally Dota 2, actually. Normally, Dota 2 actually has more players than CS, but
I
lately
don't think
CS
so.
has been peaking at like 1 million players lately.
You know, I'll pull it up.
Goes CS:GO, Dota, Apex, PUBG. Wow, I'm surprised PUBG still has over 350,000 players on it.
PUBG is massive overseas.
It's all about China.
Massive overseas.
I
And
think
it's
it's
massive.
India as well.
Yeah, it's just not in America. PUBG might not be huge, but it's way more popular than Fortnite overseas.
It's crazy too. Their top record, like the top record ever on any Steam game, PUBG with 3.2 million people. That's 3 times bigger than anybody else has ever been on Steam at one point.
Yeah, the handshake. Dota hasn't been above CS:GO since about October 2019.
Oh wow!
Ever since then, CS:GO has averaged more daily than Dota 2.
Team Fortress with 103,000 concurrent players. That's actually pretty insane too.
Team Fortress is
With
you
no
know,
update in like 3 years, might I add.
yeah, Team Fortress still the goat. We do love Team Fortress. It's definitely like ripping at the seams
Ridiculous.
though of what of what you can enjoy of that game for me. Like, I tried going back and I was like, I I love this game with all my heart, but I can't do it.
I heard there's just a lot of bots. Like it's like you go into a matchmaking and it's either you
They,
get
I mean, they eventually fixed it to a point, so they made it better. But yeah, it's that game is
I've
that game will
never
probably
played it.
never die. I tried show
Vault
even
has tried to
even-
kill it, or
Tried.
Valve. They're like, stop! What are you guys doing?
Please stop. Please stop. But like, I do respect it because it's like, hey, if any community is gonna actually get a new title, it's the Team Fortress community for how much they still play 2. I tried showing Team Fortress 2 to Fruit and the gang back in 2018, 2017 PAX South. And even then, it's like showing your friends your favorite game, and like when you show it to them, it's like all these little quirks I love about this game,
You're like,
I just know they hate. Like I could just see it.
and it's like the same thing. Like I made Joey play Halo 3 for the first time a couple months ago, and I was like, "This is sick," and he's like, "Yeah." It's like
Totally.
it's like yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's different because I remember playing this game 15 years ago, and for Joey, I'm playing a 15-year-old game. Like, it's one of those things where like I could see why people like this. I can see why they enjoy it, but it just doesn't quite hit the same for me. And yeah, like the fan base for Team Fortress 2 is just like a whole nother level of just stands.
I mean, because there's
pretty
no other game
incredible.
like it, unfortunately.
I
Um,
would be funny to see concurrent Overwatch players. Does it currently have more than Overwatch?
got a question here from Whittle. Says, have you seen the ending of Better Call Saul? If so, what'd you think? I thought it was amazing. Also, Fruit and Blue, what do you guys think of the new Pokemon that was revealed?
Okay. I had the exact same reaction Fruit did. Is like I saw it and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
And like the
And
little
then I
CGI
saw it in
thing.
motion, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
It looked way better.
So I like it.
It looked way better in game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, once I saw it too, it looks pretty cool. It has cool typing, first ever normal poison. Sure. I think its name is like Grafai. I don't actually know how to say it.
It's also based on people were like, "Why'd it so ugly?" And I saw and looked it up. It's based on what people consider to be the ugliest animal in the world, which is like this monkey.
So job well done.
So job well done. It's very ugly, but I also like its design. Like animated, it makes sense. If you saw a picture of it, you'd be like, "What the fuck is
Yeah, I
that?
thought it was a bug when you first posted it in the DMs.
No, what is that? No."
I never saw Better Call Saul. I haven't even watched the whole series yet.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I never had the desire to.
I've never even seen an episode. I'll get there
I
eventually,
watched like the
but
first season, but
like, and I know people are like, "Oh, if you love Breaking Bad, you're gonna love this," and I probably will. But the beautiful thing about Breaking Bad was it was so good. I watched it and I was full. It's like a meal,
I was full.
and I felt full, and it was good. And that was
and then
was
they were
okay.
like, "Here's
that
El Camino as a dessert."
I still haven't seen that.
And really,
I've heard mixed things, so I don't know if I want
think it was
to.
okay. I thought it was okay.
But like that's it. Like I don't even need, even if it's there, I don't even really need it. Like Breaking Bad was just
Yeah.
yummy. Okay, we're good. And I know Better Call Saul is apparently really good, and I'll probably get there. I'm just not there yet. Oh.
Johnny Appleseed says, got a real thinker question here. Feel free to skip if it doesn't make sense, but here it goes. I was reading up on a lot on how some people say we are a couple decades away from being able to upload our conscious to the internet, and it got me thinking. Say you can walk into a teleporter to go somewhere else, but the teleporter works by instantly degenerating your body and then instantly reassembling it to a secondary location would the conscious inside the body at the second location be you, or would it be a clone of you, and you would be dead as it is a different conscious in your body?
I don't
Because
think I need any reproduction of my shitty ass, to be honest, lad.
I don't think I would ever do it. Like if there was some, I wouldn't.
I'm
Like
trying to one and done. I don't want to have another generation be fucking tarnished by me being around.
Yeah, I don't know.
so. I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's not your original conscious in there, but I don't know. Like it would. I would say it's like a clone of you. Would be my answer.
I don't know. I mean,
It's an interesting.
it wouldn't
idea.
impact me then. I don't know. I would do it for my other me, but I don't know if we need two of me.
Big same.
I think we're vibing enough with one of me energy.
Feels says, "Hey Fruit, I just want to say I love the Fruit Summit content. I hope some of the rest of relaxation does well. Anyways, I would love to seeing a workout stream. Seeing what tips you have and being able to share your passion with would be really great. What are your thoughts?"
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I did one literally at the beginning of the pandemic, way back when.
Oh, that was like one of my favorite streams ever because your mic was so hot
Yeah.
that like you would
It
drop
was that
the weight.
webcam.
Oh, so funny.
It was like the bass boosted to another level. I could maybe do some every now and then. I think it would
That's
be
your
cool.
safe space.
Yeah, like it would be cool showing some people and giving some tips and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, like at the same time though, the beauty of it is it's separate.
You and weights.
Yeah, I'm alone. I'm vibing. I'm in my lane. Flourish.
You're not making content type
Hydrated.
of thing. You don't feel like you have to make it entertaining.
Right.
You know, like
So if I did it, it would be very sporadic. But yeah, that's kind of part of it. Just I just like being alone and just time with myself. So I would never make it into a content kind of thing because some things just need to be separate.
Zoes says, "Hey guys, question for Fruit and Blue mostly. I don't believe you guys talked about the newest Pokemon Direct or the competitive play trailer either. So just want to
we
know what
did.
your
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
did.
Give me your
they
TL
look-
didn't watch.
Seeing new stuff was cool. It just made me more depressed than anything because I really loved the Arceus battle system, and for us to literally go backwards just felt like I wasn't hype about it. But I mean, the new moves look cool.
Well, and part of it too is like animations and stuff. Like they even pointed out
Especially
contact moves, for instance. Like in Arceus, if a Pokemon was going to make a contact move, they'd actually run up and then do the animation and go back. And we're back to there's a photo of Grifai. I'm not sure how to say it all the way pronunciation, but used scratch or whatever. But instead, he just still sits where he is, and then you just see the little animation hit the dude, boop, and he's just chilling back there. It's just those little things that does it ruin the game? No, but also that now that we had it, it
does spoil everything after it.
It just makes it feel just that more alive too, and I don't know. It's unfortunate.
Every time I see those posts where it's yeah, this is actually another downgrade from Arceus, and it's it is objective. It is a downgrade from Arceus, and people are like, "Who cares? It's still gonna sell." And it's yeah, because people like you are it's not a big deal. It's what do you mean? Do you want the multi-billion? Stop defending the multi-billion-dollar company. They can do better than what they put out. Everyone knows it. But be nice to the multi-billion-dollar company. Shut up, you bootlicker.
Yeah.
I want Pokemon games to be sick. Why don't you?
Yeah, I'm still gonna play it, but I can also still want better.
It's like Homer jumping in front of somebody, and it's weirdo Twitter people who stand up for
exactly
billion-dollar corporations.
it's like I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still gonna play it because I love Pokemon. But I'm also gonna there's nothing wrong with people making their opinion known on hey, you guys are really not. You make all this money, and this is what the games look like. This is the state of the games. It's backwards, forwards, back and forwards, and then you got people who cares? Like it's like all that extra work. It's like, shut up, fucking Becky.
And let them know.
Shut up, Becky.
Becky, get out of
Don't
here.
bootlick
There's a Becky listening.
don't bootlick the multi-billion-dollar company making indie tier animations.
Well, it's again too. Like I think people fail. It is the most profitable franchise. The most profitable entertainment franchise in the world. Okay, and then you're gonna look at that and tell me they're doing their best. No shot.
No, the entertainment. Like,
but isn't Disney Entertainment?
No, like
the
franchise.
Single franchise. Disney is a fucking Disney is Skynet.
But like the amount of money Pokemon accrues is greater than any other single like IP franchise, anything like that.
Single IP. This is the most profitable IP.
They make.
Is it like Hello Kitty second or something weird like that?
It is like weirdly up there. It's like top 5 or 10, mainly because of like the insane amount of just merch or whatever it still sells in Japan. But
and the same can be said for Pokemon. Most of Pokemon's money isn't from games, isn't from TCG.
Pokemon exists.
It's from merchandise. Yeah.
Like they don't need to make new Pokemon. They make new Pokemon so they can make new merch with like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, it's bigger. That it goes Pokemon, Hello Kitty, Mickey Mouse and Friends, Winnie the Pooh, Star Wars.
People underestimate
crazy
the power of merchandise, especially cute animal merchandise that's branded. It's over.
There's even a Pokemon jet apparently. That
sure. But that's like
somebody.
Well, I mean, for them that would just be like chump change. But that's the thing. It's like imagine, apparently. They like showed the like development timeline of Scarlet and Violet versus Arceus, and like Scarlet and Violet, like Arceus was like almost 3 years.
It's this. There's no excuse.
Now imagine
because they're being developed next to each other. There's no excuse.
Imagine you make a whole team, pay them an obscene amount that you can because you're Pokemon and compensate fairly, and have just one team work on like battle animations for 3 years. You imagine what we get out of that, but instead,
and they have the money for it. They know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it's just we've talked about this before, and we'll always harp on about this. Point is, they can do all this. They have the money to. That's not a problem. It's that they don't have to.
Yeah, but they can make $8 billion.
They don't need to
instead of $5 billion, Mr. Fruit. Yeah. Like that $3 billion.
I don't know. It's like you have such like this massive heart and soul that is put into Arceus, and it's not perfect by any means. Like you could tell, like they were like, let's just make like a fucking banger. Let's just put our whole Poke-Ussie into it, and then you go to their next like big, like all right, this is the big one. This is the one we're gonna sell it. We're gonna marketing baby. Let's go. And it's like, I
mean, I guess. So
I mean, sure.
I mean, like I'll always play it and stuff, but I've always talked about it like. Every Pokemon game's always left me wanting more or being like, why did we do this? Why? It almost seems like every time, too, something's going backwards.
All the time. You have a game that pushes it so far forward, and then the next title just totally forgets about that. Arceus to this one.
So.
I'm still excited because the game does look very nice. And visually,
they are trying
has
new
a great
things.
Identity.
But that's the thing. It's like, why can't we try new things and also keep some of the good stuff? Why do it? What it feels like it's always a trade-off. Well, we did this, so we're taking this away. But why?
Bring back Mega Evolutions, you cowards! Nobody gives a fuck about terrestrializing.
Yeah, that one.
Last question from Canada. Says, "Sup, boys? How's it going? First off, I just want to thank you for being a staple of my graveyard shifts for work. You guys really come in clutch for me. You guys have inspired me to start my own podcast with a friend. What are some advice you'd give or anything to keep note as a podcaster with no experience? Love your work and shout out to every moment in your guys' cast." I think the most important with anything that you're doing content-wise is have fun. I think everybody assumes that when you make content, people are just going to watch or something like that. And then you may upload something and people didn't watch. And then you get really down on yourself and and have an existential crisis and stuff like that. And I think people just need to upload content, have fun, don't have any expectations going into it. But other than that, I think the most important thing with most podcasts is actually have a topic or like something that your podcast revolves around. I think we're kind of lucky in the sense that we don't have to have an exact kind of idea of what our podcast is going to be about because we have Mr. Fruit to grab his tail. What's the word I'm looking for? Coattails, and just he can kind of drag us along. But I think with most podcasts, it's important to kind of have a structured type of segment in terms of like what your topics are always going to be, like an entertainment podcast or movie podcast or news or politics, like whatever yours is going to be. I think it's really important to kind of have a set idea of what your podcast is going to be about.
To add on to that, though, I also think that, though, is why the GG Over Easy podcast has never exploded in popularity, or if anything, waned a little bit because we're also general. Like, instead, we're only pulling from our community. Like, I'd be hard pressed that many of you listening found us. You never knew about us, found the podcast, and then started listening. Like, we just don't have the same appeal. So that's definitely my advice. Like, don't do what we do. But also, agreed. Rob's onto a point. Or Rob has the point. But the thing too is, make sure whatever it is you're passionate about, because you're passionate about things coming through makes things more interesting. And so, even if you're like, oh, let's make a podcast, let's do it on or I don't know, like sports, because for some reason they're trending right now. Yeah, it's cool, but how big are you into sports? Like, yeah, I kind of like sports. Instead, it could be like, I'm going to make a podcast about baking pies because, my God, is that the favorite thing I like to do, and it'll be a better podcast. And then that's the thing too, is like, yeah, but baking pies, there'll be a niche community for people who love baking pies.
Cream pies.
Okay. Yep. Well, those two. There's a different audience, but and so like you'll eventually find them, but I think that's especially same thing for like YouTube too. People try and chase certain things like, well, this is popular, or like this has a bigger base to pull from. But usually a lot of the people you see who are succeeding in their things are actually just super niche. And then they eventually find that niche, and it's completely fine. So whatever it is, just make sure you're passionate about it and have fun with it.
You have anything to add on, Blue, or we pretty much?
That's pretty much it. I almost feel like you have to make the content you would want to watch is kind of the best, or it's kind of the most common advice you'll get from any content creator is like, make something that you know you would want to watch. And so you can't make content for other people all the time. And if you do make it for a certain thing, it has to be, what content do I want to see from this? You know what I mean? So like, you kind of have to make content for yourself almost. Even when you're making it for other people. So like Destiny, for example, right? Like you're not like catering to what other people want to see. You're still like, okay, well, what Destiny video do I want to see? So you're still making it for yourself, just in, its own way. Yeah. It just so happens people will watch Destiny even if it's you shitting your pants live on stream. They'll be like, but if Destiny gameplay is up, they're like, yo,
like,
I'll watch.
Blue has it completely correct, because even back in the day, especially when I first started Mr. Fruit, I'd like edit a video, and then I'd go over to Claire's, but hey, like, look at this video I just did, and then she'd watch it because she's nice and she doesn't really care, but she loves me.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I'd be watching too, and I'd be like laughing, like, yeah, this is great, because for me, I was making the video, I was like, this is a banger. Yeah. And even now, I can go back to like a video 3 years ago, and I can sit and watch the whole thing through. And that's not like tooting my own horn or whatever, being like, just the greatest thing ever. Just because I'm making videos that I watch and I enjoy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that for everybody, but yeah, like, that's why I was able to do it too for so long. And when I started without having any views at the time or any monetary motivation or anything. It was just simply because like this is funny. I would watch this. I am watching this. And for you, same thing. It doesn't have to be funny, but like whatever kind of content you consume. That's why like, you know, people say like, you know, pull inspirational stuff, because it's like when I was watching Markiplier and I wanted to do a new channel, I was like, well, what do I enjoy about this and why do I enjoy it? And a lot of it was like, well, he's a funny dude with charisma and he's playing video games, but I don't care what he's playing because he just makes it interesting. And so that's what I want to do. And yeah, so that's how I went about it.
Well, that'll do it for the GG Over Easy podcast episode, Mr. Fruit.
I believe 148, but it could be 149.
148.
Who really knows?
Appreciate you guys all sticking around and listening. Appreciate all the new stands that are signing up for the GG Over Easy Patreon.
Do appreciate you.
I see people joining that like every week, and that is huge. It keeps the podcast going.
Thank you, friends.
Make sure you guys check out the ads that we have today. We actually have a cool, a new one coming this week that I'm kind of excited about. But it's also kind of a gray area one.
Okay, great. Can't wait. So yeah, with that, thank you guys. We will see you next week. Be sure to leave a review, like if you haven't already on your platform of choice, because we'll read one. You want to?
Yep. Pulling up.
Well, we'll get one for the intro, but I'm just saying before, as we remember, because we're gonna do that again consistently. Hopefully, maybe, probably.
We'll do it consistently for a couple podcasts and then forget about it. Probably.
It's like everything I do in life. So love you guys. Doses.
Love you guys.